The Anbernic RG40XXH has to be one of the most confusing devices they've ever released, and if you followed Anbernic for any length of time, you would know that they're releasing devices pretty much every week. So when this got released in 2024, and I've seen the initial reactions, I was like, you know what, might just give it a miss. Mainly because I already had loads of different handhelds, including the R36S that you guys watched into 500,000 views, which I really appreciate. But given that on paper, this had nothing different to offer than pretty much anything under $100, I wasn't really that keen on getting it. Why did you get it then? Well, with the attitude, went on sale. It kind of went from $70 down to $49, so it was a bargain. And by the way, on the pricing side, yes, this is much cheaper now than when it was released, as predicted, obviously. When it came out, it was $70. Right now, you can pick these up on AliExpress for about $40, which I think it makes it a great value, especially when you compare to something like the R36S, which typically what you're picking up on AliExpress and everywhere else, especially on Amazon, are just cheap copies of the original and correct R36S. I hate doing this, but since YouTube is pressing us harder than ever, please drop a subscribe and a like on this video. I feel like a teenager right now. But without that, these videos are getting buried under tons of AI slope, which we all hate, right? So every sub and like counts. Appreciate you. Also, a few things have changed over the last 2 years, namely, the launchers that we all love are actually working on this device now. So this one here is the box standard, what comes with the device, and by no means this is a bad system. Obviously, the emulators that are included are a little bit dog shit and they're way outdated, so you have to go and install your own. 9 out of 10 times that will improve most of the game's performance and all those kind of initial niggles that this handheld had. And I apologize for my voice going up and down, but it is over 30 degrees in Scotland. And if you live in Texas and you say, that's nothing, buddy, trust me, with our humidity here, it's unbearable, and we don't have air cons in Scotland because no one ever thought that we're gonna get that hot. Going back to this device, please remember this is sub $50, so this is where your expectations should sit. If this would be 70 or 100, I would definitely tell you to stay away because there are better devices for it, like the Mangmi RX that I reviewed recently. Much better device if you're looking for something around $100. But in this sub 50 category, if you're looking for something with a horizontal layout, which the H in XXH stands for, I think this is a good buy, and I'll explain why in a second. Starting with the controls, there are no diagonal issues with the D-pad, and you have to put a lot of pressure to have this accidental diagonal movement. It feels like standard Anbernic D-pad, which is very much welcome. One thing on the D-pad side, it is slightly different to standard Anbernic devices like the RG477V that sits next to it. You'll notice that there are not only arrows on this thing, but also this tiny little bit of a recess in the middle, and you'll also notice that this D-pad is slightly smaller than usual, which is not a biggie, but if you got massive claws on you, you might take that into consideration. Like with most modern Anbernic devices, this one also has RGB lights built into the sticks, which kind of sucks because I never used that, which after using this for about 3 months is no longer an issue because one of them stopped working randomly. Not that I'm really bothered by it, but it just happened. Anyway, thanks Wolfden for this tip. If you press the M button and tap on the R2 trigger, you can fast forward through any RetroArch game, which is great, especially if you've got lengthy conversations in games that you've seen millions of times because this is your 20th playthrough. And if you watched any previous videos on the RG40XX, you know that the screen is great, and that wasn't overhyped. It is absolutely fantastic, it's colorful, it's bright as hell. You will have zero issues using it most conditions unless there's like super direct sunlight shining onto it, so you get a little bit of reflection. But in all honesty, I haven't found a handheld that can handle direct sunlight, so there's that. And also in the evenings, if you're lying in bed, if you're trying to play at night, this is fine. It's not blindingly bright as some claim. I don't know how sensitive your eyes are, obviously, but it's definitely usable for bed sessions. I'm not going to do a deep dive into specs. Here they are on the screen. If you want to pause, please pause, read them through. There's nothing exciting here though. The screen is 4:3 aspect ratio, which is perfect for all the older titles and some of the modern ones as well. And at 640 by 480 resolution makes most of the games look much better than you remember them. So this Nintendo style crossbar is above the analog sticks. Now, I would argue that those analog sticks aren't really needed here because most of the games you'll be playing are older games that don't really need any analog input. But obviously, if you're playing some PlayStation titles or some of the Nintendo 64 titles that actually work, it's doable. It's just not very comfortable, but I don't think you should be getting this device to play PS1 and N64 games because there are better solutions for that. Since we're talking about the buttons, the shoulder buttons are adequate. They're not analog because you don't need analog triggers for the games you'll be playing on this thing. They're clicky enough and responsive enough. They're perfect for especially this price range. And quite honestly, this whole combination of this being a horizontal device with a beautiful screen with a sleek and light design makes it one of the most comfortable handhelds in the market. In terms of performance, all older titles in 2D emulation work flawless. So anything from MAME to Game Boy Advance, Super Nintendo, Mega Drive, they work perfectly fine. Where this thing shines to me are the DS games, because I wasn't really expecting much. I know some people are boasting about it, but typically whenever I'm reading anything, Reddit, I take everything with a pinch of salt or a spoonful of salt. But quite frankly, DS games on this are brilliant. Obviously this handheld isn't DS specific, so if you want to use the whole screen, the Cube might be a little bit better option, but again, Cube is way more expensive, and this does everything that Cube does in that category at least. And in case if you wonder how the speakers sound because you want to throw a party around this little guy, take it away, Steve. In terms of battery life, I think you're expecting what I'm gonna say. It is more or less 6 hours to 7 hours on the older titles. If you're pressing it hard with PlayStation games or Nintendo 64, the battery is gonna typically die after 2 hours. So there's nothing special in that department. One thing I would mention though, if you're playing slightly more demanding titles, this gets a little bit hot. Not skin-meltingly hot, but you can definitely feel this comfortable moment where your coffee's ready. That kind of a warmth. I just don't drink hot coffees. Now, I really briefly touched upon the system because this is something that has changed. Not the system that comes pre-installed on the device, but the fact that you can add new systems onto it. The one I'm using personally is Nuli. I know there's a lot of people who prefer MuOS, but you know, each to their own. I think Nuli is the prettiest of them all. And I know, you can just run games of anything, but I think that just elevates the experience quite a bit. Installing Nuli is that easy. First of all, it's free, so I'm not shilling anything. All the links are in the video description along with a manual how to do it. It will take you 15 minutes tops and you will enjoy this console way more. Also, what I would highly recommend is going through all your emulators that come pre-installed and updating them to the newest versions, because that typically makes a massive difference, especially if you got shaders playing up or the game isn't working as you expected. That's because this has been shipped in 2024. And even then, most of this software wasn't really updated, so just don't be lazy. Trying to be fair with this whole system and its performance, yes, you can play some PlayStation games and you can play some Nintendo 64 games. You'll notice that most PSP games are playable too. Things like God of War kinda works. It is playable, but I wouldn't be getting again this console for games like that. When it comes to Dreamcast games, we're pretty much on the same boat as with PlayStation 1. Some of the games are working fine, some of them are just not even worth trying. If you're trying to play these games, I would 100% invest a little bit more and get something like the Malik Me Air X or one of the higher spec Anbernics if you want to stick to Anbernic. Now, using Nuli is not just about the looks, obviously. Not only it allows you for OTA updates, which the original OS doesn't, but it also allows you to sync your retro achievements. Now, I know for some people it might not matter, but I feel like there's a tiny little bit of a carrot at the end of the stick that I can record somewhere. Bob's your uncle. It's the same with achievements you get on your Steam or PlayStation. It's just nice to have, and it records all your progress. And the great thing about Nuli is that you just put it on the new card, so that means you're not replacing the system. These devices boot up with whatever system is on the SD card, so you can still keep the original system on the card that came with the device, and you can have the gorgeous Nuli on the other one. Now, onto the ports. Not as in game, as in physical ports on the device. You get 2 SD slots, which is brilliant because you can have system on one and games on the other, or you can just double them up. Fabulous. We all have small SD cards lying around the house. Awesome. You can add more games to the device. One thing I was kind of expecting to work better is the HDMI output, because better is not the right word. White word. It's not the right word. I didn't get it to work at all. I've tried all my monitors in the house, all my TVs. Nada. It might be down to my own device. I'm not really super bothered by it, because how often do you plug in something like that to your telly? Like, it's not a big deal, but yeah, I don't know what happened there. Might be just a production error. We know that Anbernic has some CE issues once in a while. Typically they're okay with customer service, even if you buy stuff from AliExpress, which I would highly recommend because the devices there are a little bit cheaper, or quite a bit cheaper. You can pick these up as cheap as $39. Again, I'll link the one I got in the description below. But yeah, the HDMI was an absolute failure on my end. And since I mentioned Reddit, I know some people were really pissed off that these sticks on a $40 device are not Hall effect. Bruh. So I think this is almost it. I'm just not impressed that they've released 40 series device after 35 series device, kind of a flagging up that this is an upgrade. It's not really an upgrade, it's just a different number. Yes, the screen is a little bit bigger, but the internals are exactly the same. I don't know if it would kill Anbernic to put slightly faster chipset inside that can actually play PS1 games, and totally that would be justifying the $70 initial price tag, maybe. However, if we're talking about $40, I think this is a much better buy than risking your dollars with something like R36S, unless you really wanted this layout. And again, there are Anbernic devices with the same layout too. If you're not buying directly from Anbernic side, make sure these are certified originals. Now, if you've dealt with AliExpress in the past, I had a couple of fake copies of different devices being sent, and they never had an issue refunding me for, well, getting basically a fraudulent order being sent through. So my dudes, if you have any questions, drop them down below, and I'll see you in the next one.